Oh, hey everybody, I am Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. Can I get a 5x5? I've had some issues today with my microphone. Actually, it wasn't my microphone, it was my headset, and I'm still having problems with my headset, so I'm flying blind today. I'm not in my own ear, and that sometimes is a problem for me. Hold on one second. I'm going to call you back. I'm live on the lifeboat. Thank you. 5x5. Thank you. So today was a rugged day, people. I think it was a tough day all the way around. Obviously, the news of Doug's passing wasn't. Thank you, Juliana. I think the news of Doug's passing got a lot of people by surprise, and to his credit too, there were a lot of people that may have said we didn't always get along great, but everybody had respect for the dude. Like this shirt on me? Thank you, Tampa B. I think this is a decent color. I like this. I like this color on me. Yes, I'm hearing that. I've heard this too. This is something that that's what they're saying, that there was a heart condition in there that required a defibrillator, like a pacemaker, but that had the defibrillator in there. My father had one of those devices. He had a pacemaker / defibrillator. Yeah, N. Smith sums that up, right? I think N. Smith sums that up. It was because the day started out, it was great. This morning started out great, and the Adelson case was finally wrapped up. A lot of you probably just came over from watching the Surviving the Survivor. Love being on that channel, man. Love being on that channel. The Surviving the Survivor, they put great guests on. Lewis, the attorney that was on there today, you talk about just somebody that is sharp. What's wrong with Henny? I saw her a minute ago. Is everything all right? I want to know that Henny is okay. Okay, maybe they were kidding, huh? Sorry, people. Occupational hazard. She's fine. Good. The blue shirt makes me think of the blue sky. Well, that's nice. That's nice. Or a Pop-Tart. First time live is now off your bucket list. Dark Horse 100. Welcome to the Lifeboat. We're glad that you're here. If you didn't follow the Adelson case, it is hairy. So here's the deal: we're gonna do some true crime stuff on the boat, and there's a couple of cases that I have been deep diving on, and you know what? They're both killer. They really are. They're both so interesting, but I'm not sure which one that I want to go with. I probably will put up something so that you can vote on it. But see, Steve Molesky has a defibrillator. Yep, gives you a shock when it shocks you back into place. You watched me, Kelly. You know what? I think I may have seen your name in the chat. I was able to pull the chat up on my computer, which doesn't always happen. If we happen to be using the same service, it works beautifully. We were, so that worked out. Gypsy, I love your attitude. Some days are rough. It sure makes the good ones sweeter. There's really a lot of I think there's something to that, man. I think there's something to that. So the cases that I'm looking at, one is the Ruby Franke case. And that's, I think almost everybody knows that. She was a YouTuber. She had a crap load of subs, like 2 million subs, 1 billion views. She was a power YouTuber, made millions. And then she got arrested, and she's being held without bond for child abuse. And she's facing 95 freaking years for real. Like it's 15 years per count. And I think she's got 6 or 7 of them. It's a pretty serious case. And in that case, you also have a therapist who is a sick woman. And there's they're all sort of tied in with the Mormon church. And this is kind of a fascinating case. But the other one the Delphi case. It is a rabbit hole into the Mormon faith. Freak on a leash. I have been. So here's the deal. I've already been doing the deep dive, right? I already started on this. It's not like I'm choosing which one to deep dive on. I've been deep diving both, right? I have been deep diving both. So I could go in one of two directions. I don't think I'm going to be able to be doing both of them at the same time. I don't, because if I take one of these puppies on, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna go to sentencing. I'm gonna do the thing. You know, I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna get into it. So I'm. Kelly says I'm fascinated by cults. I get that. Joni Cummins says, any questions for the Mormon in the chat? You know, I am available, she says. So as long as people are keeping that respectful, that's great. But we are respectful, yes. Delphi lived, Indiana lived next state over. It's crazy. It is, right? But I'm gonna need to know which direction. I have a person who's helping me do research. I have and the research person is really fired up on the Odinism. D. Marie is the Odinism. See, we've got sort of some religious stuff on both sides, right? Because if we do Delphi, then I'm sorry, Illinois. If we do the Delphi case, then what's going to happen is we're going to be talking about Odinism, or Asatru, I believe is what the fellas call it, right? The guys in prison. This is very popular in prison, Odinism, but they call it Asatru, which is what they call the religion. I guess they don't call the religion aspect of it Odinism. They call it Asatru, at least in the federal prison system. Chojin says, seen you on STS. Can't find your prison info. Are you a fraud? That's me, bro. That's me. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks. Good looking out. And it's been nice. No, I'm not a fraud. My guess would be that you're not looking under the right place. No, I'm definitely not a fraud, bro. My life's out there. Those religious folks in prison have other associations too. To be sure, very often these individuals are they tend to not like people. They tend to be pretty deep into they're pretty into racism usually. That's been my thing. They're not people that, or as they would say, they're very, very they're very into their own race. Let's put it that way. Amy Mom, good to see you. And thank you to everybody that's saying that you caught me live on STS. STS is a group of people that I will absolutely happily say you should be subscribed to. That's a family. That's really cool people. They are really, really cool people. And I'm happy as hell with being on that channel. To me, is probably one of the highlights of when I go on channels. Like I did going on Aaron and everything else, but the prep, you know, Aaron is great, but Aaron's thing is this: when I make a video, I make a video. So he'll say, you want to do a video today? And I'll go, yeah, what time you want to go? And there's never anything concrete. He'll say, I'll reach out to you. And, you know, when you go on Surviving the Survivor, it is just very, very business-like, right? And it's just, I don't know. And they're really kind of a family setup. So people, you know, I'm not a computer dude. Like I'm not very good at it, right? The computer thing really gives me fits. I'm sorry, but once again, I'm having some issues. And that's a wrap. See ya. Have a nice freaking day. Uh, so, you know, to make this easier for you people, my name's not Scoville. Right? It's not how I was born. This is a name that I use on the internet, right? So you're out there trying to look up Scoville, and that runs into your problem. Now, a lot of people who create content on YouTube don't use their real names because we have children, we have families, and sickos really make it hard. They do. You people are the salt of the earth. You really are. You're great people. But it doesn't take much for people to get really, really out there. You know, Ray, honestly, the Warren Jeffs things is fascinating, but it's Scovoletti. Don't out me, Juliana. Come on. Now he's going to look it up. Yeah, the Warren Jeffs thing is fascinating, but I think, I don't know. I think it's almost, it's been reported on so beautifully, but boy, oh boy. No, nothing's the matter, Henny. I was making sure you were all right. I was worried about you. Your boyfriend changed his name when he got out of prison legally. A lot of people do. A lot of people do because yeah, Demon. Oh, Demon 9, you're so funny. True crime is fascinating. And as far as the criminal, yeah, my the Bryce is another one that when you go on, it's just Bryce is super organized and they're just good at what they do. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like a YouTuber. I always feel like those people are YouTubers and I just make videos, you know, like they edit stuff and they got skills and they've got producers and, you know, they're just good at what they do. And it's fun. It's fun to be around that. I've done some collaborations with some really professional outfits. Hey, good morning, Vietnam. Good to see you, Keith. Glad that you're here, man. Bayou Babe says, I will say I am a true crime junkie. You know what, man? A lot of America is true crime junkies. This is, I think, if it's not the hottest genre of, there you go. Kelly says, if y'all ever want women's prison content, I did time in Georgia. Well, send me an email, Kelly. Get on here, convict. Let's talk. Send me an email. Do you know how many questions I get about women's prison? And I have absolutely no idea. Daria, the bot. So good of you to stop in. I know you're not a bot, and I'm just picking on you. Yeah, true crime is super popular. And you know what? TV sucks, right? Like TV's not good, and they don't make great stuff. Amy Mom, you want to go over to Esoteric Atlanta to see my friend Bryce. I did this on Bryce's channel. I don't want to do anything. Yeah, I don't want to do a show that sucks. I want to take a topic that's important and do a bad job on it. So if it's something that I think, you know, if it's something I think people need to do a really good job on, then I probably am going to bring it to Bryce, or I'm going to bring it to somebody else. You know, and I think that would be, yeah. Well, that's really unique, Renee. Honest to God, that's very unique. Todd Hampton says true crime is not liking Vegemite. This stuff, no, that stuff's foul, man. That stuff is foul. No true crime there. Well, you know something, Vanessa? Here's the deal on that. I really do like going live often. I do not go live often, this often all the time. This is a December thing because this is a tough month. If I kept this up all year, people, I would die. You understand that? Like, there's no way I could do this. This is a tough month to do with all of that. But you know, Deeming 9 says Bryce did a beautiful tribute to Doug Kramer. Bryce and Doug were close. They were friends, and I was doing. We were going to be doing a project with the three of us, and it's a bummer that you know he's gone. Question. I know you journal. You've talked about it before. Do you have a video where you talk about it and remember the title? Are you kidding? I don't remember the title of the video I did this morning, Anna. I'm sorry. I really don't. I'm so bad at it, at that. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do a video on it tomorrow because you're not the first email that I've gotten on this. And you know what? We have so many new people. I'll do a video tomorrow on journaling. All right. We'll get one in tomorrow. I promise. So that way I don't have to try to find it because there's 1,400 videos and there's no chance I'm going to get, it would take me all day. So I'll just do another one. And it's legit because it's a subject that I should probably do a little bit more often anyway. It's like relapse prevention, right? There are certain subjects that you can just beat the crap out of and keep doing. And that's one of them. Yeah. There's, so the similarities between the Daybell case and the I think that there's a lot of similarities between the Ruby Franke case and the Daybell case. It's just that thank God in the case of Ruby Franke that the children are still alive, but the cult aspect of it was the same. And you do know that. So look, the guy that in the Daybell case, that lunatic that started talking about how he was a god and he had lived 5,000 years and all of that crazy crap. Okay, well, Ruby Franke's therapist partner / possible lover, I think they were getting it on, in my humble opinion. I don't think you leave your kids alone if you're not doing something with a love interest. I think that's really weird to do it the way they do it. How are you guys allowed to illegally watch women in their homes? It's exploitation. It's insane that you guys laugh about it. What if it was your kids? I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Does anyone have any idea what Mock is talking about? Are you illegally watching people in their homes? Who's doing that? Is somebody here illegally watching women in their homes? Hey, Mock, you lost me, bro. You completely lost me. I got no idea what you're talking about. I remember that case. The bombing that was at La Paloma. I remember that case. I did not know it was at La Paloma, but I knew about the bombing. That was actually a fairly interesting case. Yeah, right. Project. What's up? What's going on? That therapist is ick. And people want to mock me for making it a laxative into an aerosol. Well, I haven't mocked you for that yet. I'm going to start tomorrow. Wait a second. My roommate, 200 days sober? Woo! Give your roommate, tell your roommate we said, check this out. That's amazing. 200 days is epic. How good is that? That is awesome. Yeah, you know what? The book thing. Tommy Bird. How are you, man? Good to see you. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I really am, man. Thoughts and prayers for you, Tommy, and for your and for the family of your friend. I'm so sorry. La Paloma in Tucson. There was a like I said, I didn't know that it was at La Paloma, but there was a very famous case where somebody blew up a car as a way to murder somebody. It was a murder for hire case. It was a very, very interesting case. Jared Lee Loeffner was in the same. He was across the hall from me. I was at FCI Phoenix, and they brought him there because they couldn't get him into a regular jail. Like they were afraid that someone would kill him or whatever. So they brought him to the federal prison and put him in the shoe. And I got in trouble and was in the shoe. And I saw him in there. Very odd dude. Really, really odd dude. apparently he was really, really sick in the head. Like he really, really had some issues that needed like heavy treatment. It's a sad case. It's a really, really sad case. All of them are. You know what I mean? So often, any kind of intervention and connection could have saved so many lives. Oh wow, that's terrible. The found documents. I think you're thinking that was that case was in Utah. I know that case too, where they were manufacturing the fake documents and trying to auction them off to the church. They were basically blackmailing the church and saying that they had a document that basically said that all of the early doctrine was BS. It was crazy. I'm so sorry to hear that. I really am. But it's good that I'm glad that you're open enough to say that out loud, right? So to speak, because this does. Other people are going to see this. Other people are going to read this, and the more open people are, and the more people connect, the better off everybody is. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? Bottom line. Yeah, no, I have a ridiculous memory. I've always had a really, really ridiculous memory. It's one of those things. I've told people like when like anything that I'm exposed to more than a couple of times, I'm gonna end up memorizing. So like the books that I read my kids growing up, I could do all of those from memory because that's just how my brain is built. We all read, you read The Cat in the Hat to your kid, could you do it from memory? So that's kind of the memory the sun did not shine. It was too wet to play, so we stayed in the house all that cold, wet day. I sat there with Sally. I sat there with two, and I said how I wish I had something to do. It's too wet to go out. It's too cold to play ball. So we sat in the house. We did nothing at all. And all I could do was to sit. Did not like it. Not one little bit. I can do a whole big chunk of Moby Dick, too, believe it or not, because I had a bet in college with a dude. There will be a great case in Kansas City coming up next year. Freaky guy kidnapped women and kept them in his home. Suspected in killing prostitutes, girl escaped with duct tape and chains, blue barrels. Amy's mom. I will, and that's coming up next year. I will look into that. I am wide open in taking cases that you people want to see. Like I am wide open in taking cases that you guys want to see. I would like the audience to be stoked. Linda Lou says, my brain is built the exact opposite of you, Tommy. I can't remember anything. What did I do yesterday? I have no idea. I think it's because of my childhood. The places you'll go. There you go. See, she read some books too. My memory is, I just have a memory like that. I really do. It's been one of those things. How about that? Huh? I have an appointment with a psychiatrist tomorrow. I've tried so long not to have to be on meds anymore, but this is where I am headed. You know what? Good. There's nothing wrong with meds. There's nothing wrong with meds. If meds make you right, meds are good. If meds keep us on an even keel, meds are fantastic. But I don't want anybody to come here and be like, well, it's the lifeboat. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be doing meds. We shouldn't be doing any of this. No, it's nothing like that, right? It's nothing like that. Is Richard Allen safe in that other prison, in my opinion? I honestly do not know how to answer that. The reason being, like in theory, if you really want to protect somebody, question becomes, how much do they really want to protect somebody? Truthfully. You live in the town where Gregory Peck filmed in Moby Dick? You're kidding. The Donna Adelson case, you know what? I will probably do the Donna Adelson case anyway because of I'm already kind of tied to that case, right? If people call me in, I've been called in on the Adelson case. Really, pretty much like I've been called in a bunch on it. Like that's the case that I went to see him on the most. I think I did Danny Masterson over there too. I might have done the Masterson trial with STS. I can't remember which one I did first. It might have been. Anyway, but I got good news. I've been watching AA Ron, Reese, and you, and many others before SPTV. I keep getting booted off you and Reese's channel for some reason. It's because we don't like you. No, I'm kidding. We love you. You know what it is? It just keeps happening to some people on some channels and not on others, some and others. Absolutely, Valerie. Valerie would like some ones in the chat. We absolutely can do that. We enjoy doing that. You know, everybody loves. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people that really dig true crime. I think I'm probably leaning toward the Delphi case because of the Odinism and the Asatru thing and the tie into the jail and that's all kind of relative stuff that I think that I have the ability to maybe lend something to it. You know, I think that's something that I could lend something to. So, but I spent a lot of time in Utah, and I spent a lot of time around the BizOp community in Utah, and so you know what? Both cases, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the community page, right, and I'm gonna put something up that you guys can vote on because it's just gonna be easier. Mancow, you know what? If you're of a certain age and you traveled, you'd probably know who Mancow was, right? Like Mancow never got super, super popular, but he was like a second tier kind of a Howard Stern, like a lower tier Howard Stern. True crime is a way to process trauma. Would you believe me if I told you that somebody else has said that, like to me in the last couple of days? Someone that's a very close friend of the show said that true crime has gotten them through so much trauma in their life. And I thought, that is the weirdest freaking thing anyone has ever said. But I'm hearing that from a lot of people. Delphi, yes, spelt like the Oracle of Delphi. Yes. Carousel Delirium, nice to see you, hon. She says, it's a fact. The Carousel Delirium is a friend of the boat as well. I've been around a while. Good to see you. I loved Mancow. I'm near Chicago. See, yeah, I mean, and like, didn't he really kind of come into his own in the 80s and 90s, right? Like the 90s, I think, was really like the decade of Mancow. But he was probably, at least in the Nations thing, I think he was towards the end of his career when Drew went on his channel. But yeah, Drew went on there. Yeah, Joey. Joey Frigg says, man, that having patches on their jail uniforms is super crazy. Something you'd never see out here in our Cali jails or prisons. Here's my deal. What prison system would you see it in, Joey? Where the hell is that cricket, right? How is that allowed anywhere, man? Mancow kind of is a turd, but I used to get a lot of laughs out of him. But I see where you're coming from on the Mancow is a turd thing. What the hell is a Mancow? He was like a guy that wanted to be Howard Stern, is what he was. He was a shock jock, is what he was. Yeah, the fact that there were that they had patches on there. I don't know. There's so much to this case. There is so much to the Delphi case. It's going to require a crap load of work. But I think I'm down for that. I honestly think I'm down for that. But the reason that Mancow got brought up is because Drew Peterson went on the Mancow show, and Mancow was trying to set up a thing. Who wants to date Drew Peterson? And this is when his wife was being looked for and all that. Of course not. A traumatic experience does not need to harm you or threaten your life to cause harm to your well-being. Not at all. Not at all. No, it doesn't. Sometimes, yeah, it absolutely does not need to be It does not need to threaten your life. There doesn't need to be physical harm. There doesn't. Some of the worst things that can be done are just, you know, abuse. Trauma from abuse that is mental is vicious. You know what? That bird was sharp. I'm telling you, sharp. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I've got great mods, people. There's absolutely no two ways about it. I've got really, really great mods. Very often, right? Very often as humans, because Todd Hampton says the death of my father is what started my eating disorder. So often we look for comfort, right? And sadly, and we've talked about this, I've done some shows on it. No, I don't remember the name of them, but I bet it had something to do with eating in the title. But we've done shows on this, and they play around a lot with our food. And our food is designed. There's a reason they put high fructose corn syrup in everything, right? Everything. They put it in stuff where you go, what? Because they want that straight up and straight down, straight up and straight down thing, so that we're always chasing that feeling. So it's not like it was 100 years ago, you know, where we were eating stuff out of the farm and off the farm and out of the fields and things like that. That's, we eat garbage. We really do. So it's if you start going down the road of using food as a way to comfort you, what they're putting in there for ingredients makes that a disaster. It makes that a nightmare, because it will absolutely turn food into a drug. It really will. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn rocks. Lynn gets it. Lynn gets it. You can email either of those, Hunter. Hit me up with either of them, right? You were 7 years old. What, when the Drew thing went down? Then you're pretty close. You're pretty close to the age of his daughter, I think. Correct? I think that I'm pretty sure that's about the age that Lacey was when her mom disappeared. I think. Does anyone know a non-prescription pain med that doesn't get you high? I'm vaping THC and I hate it. Well, I would talk to my doctor. Depending on the type of pain that you have, there are a bunch of pain medications now that are non-narcotic that are made. If you're going to go with, if you're looking for all natural, there are some things that you can do. I'll be honest with you. This was made for me by someone on the lifeboat. And this is just a balm that I rub on, but it has done remarkable things. And it's not a business. She just makes it. This has been incredible. Creepy old lady, email me and I will put you together with somebody that might be able to help. And there are a lot of people here. You ask that question in this audience and you're going to get a lot of people that will, Voltaren is a good gel. Voltaren is a good gel. I've used this. I will back that up. But it does totally depend on the type of pain and where it is located, to be sure, right? If that pain is nerve pain, then it's not going to be different. I use THX roll-on, like icy hot, no high involved. There you go. There's one. Scott Peterson was Lacey's husband. Drew Peterson was Stacy's husband, and they have a daughter together named Lacey. So this could not get any more confusing, right? Scott Peterson was married to Lacey Peterson. Drew Peterson was married to Stacy Peterson, and they had a daughter named Lacey Peterson. All messed up. It gets confusing. And they were basically in the headlines almost at the same time, which is Tiger Balm is better than Voltaren. I have a thing with the Tiger Balm smell. I have flashbacks. I'm not even being funny. The time of my life when I was wildly using all kinds of Tiger Balm was the time that I was doing really stupid things. And my olfactory senses, like if I smell if I smell something that a Toradol is a great drug, actually. If I smell perfume that an ex girlfriend wears, like instantly my head, it just takes you back to those memories. So I have to avoid it for that reason. Todd, what a cool thing to say, man. No joke. That's humbling, and it's a really cool thing to say. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys. I'm not joking, people. I still can't believe you guys watch. I'm not joking when I say that. I have this conversation with people a lot. I'm shocked that you guys are into it, but someone said something funny too. Who lies about going to the joint? That's really one of the funniest things I've ever heard. If I'm going to lie, people, I'm going to make myself a doctor, maybe a lawyer, right? Or a rock star. That might be fun. Well, let me tell you something. I'm very complimentary of Reese. I think Reese is great. I really do. And Reese and I have been talking off air so that we could set up the next one that we do, right? Tiger Balm isn't as good as it was a couple of decades ago. I'm sad to hear that. I've heard that about other products too, that they get bigger and they got to crank out more stuff and it's just not the same. I hate that, man. Barbara Curry, I hate that. Don't you? I'm saddened by that. I really am. I'm saddened by that. But I remember that product. I used it when I skied. I totally remember that product. I got it from a girl. A girl I used to ski with gave me the Tiger Balm the first time. And it had a really cool guy on the tin, a really cool cat on the top of it. Hey, Snot, I'm glad that you and your sister are talking and communicating. That's good stuff. I've heard this from so many people. I can't back this up. I don't know. I don't know it. I've never tried it, but the number of people who have said to me that turmeric is incredible for pain, man, oh man! If I had $1 for all of you that have said something to me about turmeric, I'd never have to work again. Twinkies suck now too. I agree with you. The Twinkie does not taste today like the Twinkie tasted years ago. Pebbles, your liver shot. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, I have I have had a lot of luck with Toradol. Um, I have had a lot of luck with Toradol. When I go into Reese, I knew who's Reese, says Debbie R. Reese is a lovely content creator that falls under the umbrella that we call SPTV, which is an acronym for Suppressive Person Television. Suppressive person, if you're new here, is a term that the Church of Scientology likes to use to describe people that cause all of the problems on planet Earth. A small percentage of the population that literally cause every problem that happens on this planet. I happen to be one of them, according to these people. So Reese is an ex-Scientologist, and now she is hurling rocks at the Church of Scientology, much like I do. And she's just a lovely person, and she's bubbly and fun. And I went on her show, and we had some laughs. And I talked to her earlier. Well, I didn't talk; we were texting, but I was texting with her earlier, and I said, "How would you like to come on the lifeboat tomorrow?" And she said, "Oh, tomorrow's no good. How about Thursday?" So we are doing a lifeboat with Reese. We're going to bring her over here this time so that the crew of the lifeboat could spend a little time with Relatable Reese. And she will be here on Thursday. I will remind you of that as we get closer, and I'll tell you exactly what the time is. That way, we can all turn out. We want a great turnout for that day. We want our numbers to be huge because in honor of Relatable Reese, she's very, very cool. Well, listen, don't bum out yet. Don't bum out yet, Kristen. You very well may be a suppressive person, right? In which case, there you go. You are the cause of all the problems on the planet. Maybe you're just an SP and you didn't know it yet, or maybe they don't know it yet. I have a feeling you're probably part of the SP Nation. I think that's a safe bet. It's true. While it's true that not everybody can consume pepper, I really find, because this is something I happen to know a lot about, very few people. It's a small number of in terms of percentage that struggle with pepper or with capsaicin, but it is a percentage. Oh, I see you. Welcome to the lifeboat. I'm glad that you're here. I wish we had met under better circumstances. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. And I say that to everyone who says that they watched him, because I know I sound hokey and I'm going to catch crap for it or whatever. But if you're doing this right, if you're doing this right at any level, you're building a community, you're building a family, right, of sorts. I mean, you all talk to each other every night in the chat. You all talk to each other in the day in the chat, right there. I got a morning crew that get together every morning and have coffee with one another, right? And this is kind of how we do what we do. It's kind of how we trudge forward, right? And sometimes when it's hard to. I'm sorry, but this was really, really. You know what? If the name wasn't Creepy Old Lady, it would just be so much less funny. But from Creepy Old Lady, Tommy, how long has it been since you were told that you're too young? Let's just say it's been a couple of weeks. How would that be? Our conversation with Reese will be here on Thursday, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I have nothing to but respect for Reese. I really do. She was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was one of the most laid back shows. You know what I mean? It was all, it was like I had done the show 5 or 6 times already. You know what I mean? I felt like I knew her, and that's cool. Gabapentin is excellent for nerve pain. It really is. And you know what? There are people who villainize gabapentin. If you're doing it right, it's not a dangerous drug. I'm sorry, it's not. It's when people start to abuse it. It's an excellent drug for what it's used for. And so many people villainize it that you got all of these people that are trying to get off it. And in some cases, they don't need to be off it. Right? Yes. I think that's probably a good way to put it. Reese is super fun, excellent personality, cannot wait. We also got Reese is an all-around good person. Apparently, you guys like Reese. Oh, yesterday Reese said I was too young. Well, of course Reese thinks I'm too young. She likes them. What did she say? Crispy. But Johnny, on the other hand, I'm putting this up just so I can show it to Johnny later. I'm gonna put that up just so I can show it to Johnny later. Mary, I love you. You're my new favorite person. Boy, am I going to show that to him. Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? Jam says, gabapentin didn't help me, but weirdly, Lyrica is working decently. That's so odd because they are really very similar. It's like Coke and Pepsi, So it's odd that, but if so gabapentin, which is Neurontin, and the Lyrica is pregabalin, right? Pregabalin, from what I understand, pregabalin makes people put on weight like that. Everyone I've ever known that got on Lyrica and stayed on Lyrica put on a lot of weight. A lot of weight. Reese does like them extra crispy. She also likes them a little bit on the thicker side. I'm rocking a 6-pack. I don't think I'm exactly Reese's type, but she is relatable. Make no mistake. And she's just a cutie. I think she's adorable. But I'm way too young and I'm way too thin. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Extra crispy. That made me laugh. I promise. That was the extra crispy thing really had me cracking up. Connect to your fellow crew members. It's life-changing. Sincerely. Valerie, you rock. You rock. And I'm still praying that you're going to get Christmas off. Freak on a Leash says, not me. Thanks, Zenu. Pebbles says, Lyrica is weight-gaining medicine for sure and expensive. It is expensive. And C, how come I can't win them all? What does that mean? I can't win them all? Of course I can win them all. Laura, I'll send you a photo. I got a vicious six-pack. I really do. I have a vicious six-pack. I was in prison. Guys that go to prison get six-packs, man. We got all day. Got all day long to work on your tummy. Debbie says you guys are the first person I've heard getting relief from gabapentin. Seriously, I work with so many people who swear on gabapentin. I know people that really swear by it. I've heard a lot of people say that when they came off gabapentin, it was difficult. It was for a lot of the people that I know that quit. But if you're suffering from nerve pain, there's really just a handful of options. I don't care what anybody says. If a guy says that he's suffering from a ton of nerve pain and he needs opiates, he's probably just wanting to get high, because opiates don't really do much. Like, I've had some vicious problems in my life with nerves, and I don't care how much dope you shoot. It doesn't do this. Nerve pain is just not treated very well by opiates. I mean, it can get you high enough to pass out, but it's not. It really is just not the end all. You would be better off. Laura rocks. I don't know if Laura saw me. I was wearing her shirt on on my show earlier. I got an autographed Laura FM shirt. I got tons of good swag in the mail from her today. I was really fired up about it. So that was cool. This has been one of those days that has just been surreal on so many different levels. There you go. Pain management nurse here. Methadone is the only opiate that works for nerve pain. It also is super inexpensive as far as pain medications go. The cheapest one you're going to get your hands on is methadone, right? It's been around forever. There's a ton of generics, and the generic for methadone is Dalphine or Dalphine. There you go, Dalphine. It's very inexpensive, and its half-life is absolutely ridiculous. It's got a very long half-life. Yes, I didn't see. Did you just say Vanessa? The gray zone? Did I miss Vanessa? I did. Hello, Vanessa. Come to say rest in peace and pay your respects to Doug. And as a second gen, I'm sure that this has to be so much tougher for all of the for all of the second generation Scientologists. Second generation Scientology death is real, and two hands cannot count the number of deaths we've had in our lifetimes. Thanks, Tommy. This is so important. It is. And the if the takeaway from this is not that everybody should be really angry at at this cult and their and them separating families from one another, right? Going out of their way literally to make people disassociate, right? Disconnect. It's painful for us here on the boat because connection is we take that we believe connection is the key to everything in life. And we believe that without it, everything unravels. It's how drug addiction happens. It's how all of the things we would like to avoid seem to happen when we withdraw from connection, when we pull inside ourselves and hold everything inside and don't talk to anyone else. That's usually when the really bad starts to happen. And it's something that we yeah, a lot of people have and I love that people can be honest, I like the fact that there are people who are saying, you know what, he was a great dead guy. Pissed me off a few times. We didn't get along all the time. Um, but you know, that's real. It's been said many times today on a couple of other channels as well that very often someone passes away and um, passes away and instantly is made into a saint, right? All of a sudden they're holier than everything and they're perfect, and it's just not right. Yeah, I can, Martha. I can. I think I've done a couple of them, but I will pull up another one because I couldn't for the life of me tell you what the name of it is, and it's probably not called The Stages of Grief. I'm sure I didn't do anything smarter enough to do that. You were unsubscribed to the Lifeboat. It's another song, Vanessa. There's one by the gentleman that wrote the book, The Basketball Diaries. He also had a band called the Jim Carroll Band, and he wrote a song called "People That Died," people who died, and it's pretty heavy. It was a hit in the '80s for about an hour and a half. But I was always a really big Jim Carroll fan. I read all of his books. He got sober. He was a criminal and a junkie, and he got sober and turned his life around and really became an advocate. And he was. I started to really group him around the time that I realized it was possible. But the guy that wrote the Basketball Diaries had a hit with it. Yeah, you can lead a horse to the water, right? Kind of a thing. And here's the deal, people. So often, people we want so badly to help people that sometimes we want to do the work for them, or we want it so bad for them that we get them into situations that they're not ready for. Uh, I get a couple of emails a week from people that tell me that I saved them, right? And nobody saves anybody. Everybody saves themselves. Now, you can take a whole lot of help. There's a lot that we can do to help one another and greatly increase our chance for success. And again, I'm just going to keep saying it until you guys stop watching, but it's all about connection. It really is. It's all about connection. It's why group therapy works. It's why if you have been through a trauma, you should find people that that understand what you're going through. If not, you sit down, you try to have a meaningful conversation with somebody, and you spend most of your time trying to explain something that the person sitting across from you is incapable of understanding. Right? Like if I have a conversation with somebody that does not understand what addiction is, and that feeling, that draw, that inexplicable voice that just screams inside you to make sure that you go out and feed it. If you've never felt that, then that's not something that can be explained. Why would you leave prison and do dope again? Like, you were already clean. Why would you ever think about doing it again? Well, if I tell my story to people who are drug addicts, they don't ask that question ever, right? If I tell that to anybody that's not, instantly, why would you have done that again? Okay, all right. Oh, I knew what you meant by amitriptyline, name brand, Elavil, Xanax, and amitriptyline and GABA. Yeah, that was a tough cocktail there. Third eye open. Alprazolam, Elavil, And so Neurontin, Xanax, and Elavil. Yeah, that's a rugged cocktail right there. You're a champion for getting off of that, in all honesty. Yeah. And sadly, that's really kind of where it is, Todd. And he probably would love to understand, in all honesty. He probably would love to understand. But very often it's like, we're speaking a couple of different languages, and that really is the case. Alexi, I'm glad that you're here, and I'm sorry for your loss. And people, I do not run my shows usually longer than 1 hour. There are exceptions to that rule, but I usually don't. And the reason is it's just how the channel, the big red button pushes my videos, and we do a whole lot better when we keep them at an hour. This is why for the month of December I've been trying to do way more of these. But was reading of someone in my town who passed from fentanyl overdose. I don't know him, but my heart hurt for everyone who knew him. Thank you for helping me better understand people. Thank you. It's a kind thing to say, and I appreciate you. But we're losing 350 people a day. Bare minimum, we're losing 350 people a day in this country to drug overdoses. Now, you might erroneously think to yourself, 350 people. I mean, there's 330 million people in America. 350 a day it's the number one cause of death in our country from the age of 18 to the age of 50. The number one cause of death. That means, people, you're more likely to die of a drug overdose than a car crash, than a heart attack, than cancer, than getting shot, than getting stabbed, anything. But it's the one thing we don't give a crap about doing anything about here in the good old USA, right? Not doing a thing about it, nothing. So do me a favor. If you're getting high on street drugs, right? Get on your phone. You're listening to me. You got a phone. See if there's any place in your state that is giving away test strips so you can test what's in your dope. The state I just left had them in little boxes throughout the city. So you could take out a test strip. And I'm not going to lie to you, people. In the middle of a drug addiction, you could take out that test strip. If that thing tests positive for fent, you're probably going to do it anyway. I have absolutely heard of the Sublocade injection. I think probably currently it's the best thing on the market for treating opiate use disorder. That's my personal opinion on the Sublocade injection. I think it's a great thing. I'm hoping that you're having success with it. You're gonna. I can't remember. There's the next time I come up, I swear to God, people, the next time I come here, I will tell you, because there's a place you can go for a ton of information on this. It is a YouTube channel. I am subscribed to it. I just can never remember it, and I don't think about it until we go live, but I promise you I'm going to do it the next time. Sorry. I was the first person. Pam Abernathy says, second gen-in-law is out of the Church of Scientology for 47 years, lived with us on and off. I was the first person here she trusted with trauma. Grace of God, not me. Still struggles navigating life. Well, I am of the firm belief, people, that, as someone said earlier, right? There are things, hello, Shannon. There are things that you don't get over. There are things you don't get over. There are things you learn to live with. But there are things that you do not get over. And I think a systematic form of abuse that any way you shake it, it's a systematic form of abuse. I sat with a person that I care for greatly, and they were telling me stories of being a young child and waiting to be big enough to hold the cans. And I have a real problem with the kid thing, and it just it's the crappy church needs to go out of business, people. It really does, and we need to just keep screaming about that and protesting and doing everything that we can do until that happens, because Addiction is a bitch trying to dewire the brain over a lifetime. It is. It's a lifetime's worth of work. And we do a lot of damage while we're doing it. It is insane how horrible that stuff is. Boy, that's worth putting up there. Cal gets it. Weighted blankets are the coolest thing on planet Earth. I'm using one now. I am using one now. I'm not using one that was purchased to be a weighted blanket. I am using a Afghan that was made by my Nani, my Italian grandmother. And conservatively speaking, it weighs 1,600 pounds. No, I don't know how much it weighs, but it weighs so much that you don't want to move when you get under it. Like, I was carrying the blanket into my room, and it's a workout. It's just ridiculous, but I dig it. James Smith, I don't doubt that for 1 second, man. James says you treat nerve pain by treating the colon and the pH level. I think there's probably a lot of truth to that. I really think there's a lot of truth to that. And you know what, bro? And I mean this lovingly. Start a channel and tell people about it. For real, man. If you got something that can help like that, start a channel. Start a channel. Do it. Let your voice be heard, because that would be awesome. I mean, anything that you can do that would help people work on something like that. You know what, Debbie Shear? Debbie, you were just over at Surviving the Survivor. And you know what? The chat's going like this, right? You don't see anything. And I was able to basically glance, and I'm pretty sure I saw you say, is it cool if I put the link to the lifeboat up? And if that was you, thank you so much. And to all of you that go over there and say, you know what, I subscribe to the lifeboat. Tommy's great. I appreciate that more than you know. I really do. It's awesome when you're sitting on someone else's channel and you see your people in the chat. Like, that's humbling stuff, people. It really is. It's humbling stuff. Kat made one for herself. It makes you sleep longer than 2 or you know what? It had an effect on me that way, Kat. I seem to be sleeping better. And I'm going to leave you with this one, people, because I really need a whole show just for this. And I would have probably gotten into it this morning, but what happened with Doug changed that show up, you know? But thank you, Debbie. I appreciate you. I mean that. But last night, I decided not to take my gummy. And the reason that I decided not to is because my sleep disorder is PTSD. I just have nightmares. I can fall asleep, right? And even when I'm going through it and I'm having my issues, it's not 365 days a year, right? I go through cycles where something bad's happening and something in my head's not right or whatever, and I get into the nightmares, and then they go away and they'll be gone for 3 months or 4 months or whatever, and then they come back. So I thought to myself, must have been 8 or 9 days since a nightmare, and I'm in a really good place in my mind, like mentally. I'm working with my therapist, my counselors. Everything's good. I'm very happy. The boat's doing great. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to take it. And I had a nightmare. I had the exact same nightmare. And now I am afraid, people, that I'm really sold. So on the bright side, I had the nightmare really early in the night. Actually, I had it before midnight. So I just decided to take it then. And then I fell asleep. So, but that was a bit of a bummer. But at least I'm learning, right? Yeah, if it blocks the feeling of opiate, if once you know that the feeling of opiate is blocked, then chances are you're probably not going to party, right? Sorry. Yeah, I dream journal. I do too. If you're not journaling, people, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you're not journaling, if you're not taking time to put pen to paper, and you're not doing it every single day, then you're not going to get to where you want to get to in life. Right? That's it. AKA social worker. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. And people, not old, retro. There you go. That sounds better, doesn't it? Huh? Yeah, the odds that you've got a a beautiful 35-year-old girlfriend who's saying, "Yeah, my 53-year-old boyfriend is a retro." Probably not the greatest, but it is a good concept. I'm kidding. All right, people. I am Captain Tommy, and this right here, that is a cat in a basket. Wait, isn't she a beauty? He's a good girl. What a beautiful cat. What a beautiful kitty. He's a good girl. She just did a big yawn. You gonna talk? All this cat does is meow 24 hours a day around the clock. She's like that dancing frog. As soon as the boat goes live, she stops. I'll stop filming and she's just going to start meowing the loudmouth. All right, people. Tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. It's what we do. We're live on the 5s, West Coast time, every single day, 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. The lifeboat, right? Between now and the next time we get together, reach out there and try to save somebody. God bless.